I'm today with Matt Baker. Matt is a PGA golf professional and he's the owner of Matt Baker Golf. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, Mick. Thanks for having me on.
Great to have you. Matt, just kick us off by telling us a little bit about your business then.
Okay, so I've decided that I'm a golf professional by trade now. I have been in sales as well also, but my main business now is teaching people from around the world how to play golf online. So we use a platform called Skillist, which is an online platform for coaching, and I can pretty much run everything from that. The beauty of it is I'm able to also run it from anywhere in the world as well. I suppose you could also call me a YouTube content creator. How about that one? I never thought I'd have that in my title either. So, but yeah, I also make YouTube videos, Instagram videos, and so on to try and put my message out there that I do.
I have seen some of your videos, Matt, and they're very, very informative as well.
Well, the information might be right. I mean, the actual filming of them is probably terrible, but I can only get better at that. But the actual information, hopefully, is okay. That's the main thing that I look at when I'm doing it.
They look pretty good to me, anyway.
Yeah, thanks.
So, what type of clients are you dealing with all around the world?
Well, so basically, I'm teaching. I could generalize it down a bit more, but at the moment, I'm teaching probably people that are from elite players all the way up to your sort of beginners. The main thing is that I'm teaching from, I've got a client based in California, so I couldn't get much further that way. And I've got a guy in Finland and somebody in Essex, somebody in Kent. I've got them pretty much dotted all over the place. And that's the beauty of what we're doing now, is that it's open to anybody in the world. Because traditionally, as a golf professional before, you would generally be confined to your local area. And you wouldn't have the opportunities to go and teach somebody from California, for example. So that's the main beauty of what I'm doing now, and down to basically a functionality of this, like this program here, Zoom. You know, you can actually do that live, or people can send me lessons to analyze. So that's the beauty of it. Yeah. So basically, the answer to your question is I'm teaching pretty much anybody really that really wants to have a lesson at the moment. Yeah.
And what type of clients do they tend to be?
Mostly male. I'm open though to juniors and to lady golfers, but they're mostly 30 to 40 age group at the moment that seem to be interested in taking online lessons.
Right. Okay. And I guess there are other people or PGA professionals or businesses that are doing a similar thing. What do you think differentiates you to them?
Yeah, you're dead right. There's loads of us doing it on there now at the moment. It's fast growing as well. It's probably one of the fastest growing businesses in the PGA or for golfers. Yeah, I suppose the main message for me is I'm a little bit different with my information. I like to keep it simple as best as I possibly can. Can use anything that you can find in the house or around you to try and learn the game. And I'd like to think that I'm probably keeping it as simple as I possibly can compared to some others. There's a lot of, since the worlds of physios have gotten involved into golf, there's become a lot of talks of flexions and extensions and radial deviations and this, that, and the other. And I mean, look, I'm teaching Gavin from accounts. He doesn't need to know whether his wrist is in flexion or whatever. He just wants to know, is it bent or correct? So I'm trying to keep it as simple as I possibly can. Probably a bit old school. I could use those fancy words if people wanted, but I don't think there's a need to be honest.
You speak their language.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. I'd like to hope so anyway.
So what about COVID-19? Were you going then, or how did that?
Yeah, no. So I'm a relatively fresh business. I say probably about 7 months now. But it was COVID really actually there's a story to COVID really, because COVID, I was working a normal job at that point. And really, I said to my wife that I just really fancy getting back into golf. It's been my passion. I've done it. I've been a golf professional since I was, 24, I think it was when I qualified as a PGA professional. But I've been doing it since I was 16. So it's in my blood. It's in my DNA, as I would say. And I've always had a passion for it. And even when I was doing a normal job, I was actually probably learning more about it and especially through COVID. I was, the PJ do a wonderful thing of where they do online courses, and I suggest anybody does any course that they can. You learn loads, learn a bunch. Whether you think it's not going to be for you, go ahead and learn it. And that's where COVID really got my fire going again. And my coach as well is a chap called Mike Malaska, and he has his own YouTube channels and so on. And he sort of inspired me to get back into doing it again, because he keeps it fairly simple as well. And it was like, yeah, actually, if this message can get out there, then I need to do that. And COVID was a sort of, I don't know, it catapulted us into doing that, to be fair, because it was like everybody, I think a lot of people sat and reflected about their lives and what they were going to do and so on. And do I want to be doing this job forever and so forth? And I was like, no, if I'm going to do it now, if I'm going to do it, let's do it now and give it a try.
So Matt, from a business point of view, what does the future look like? What are the challenges ahead?
Well, so business wise, so the overall goal is so what we can offer with my business is we can offer individual lessons, we can do Zoom lessons. The main thing though is what's different about it is that we offer a subscription service, so people can sign up to me for a monthly subscription, or other pros as well that are on there. But they can sign up for a monthly subscription where they can they get full access to us. So my goal is to get at least, it doesn't sound a lot, considering that I'm hitting the whole world, is around 40 subscribers to 50 subscribers a month. So that's enough for me to manage, if that makes sense. If you start doing more than that, then it becomes a bit too complicated and so on. But yeah, challenges really, the biggest challenges, the biggest hurdles is getting people through the door. Do they want to spend that sort of money? It's not mega expensive, but it is in these times that we're living in at the moment. But the key thing is to stay, and the biggest challenge that has to be is staying relevant in our line of field, staying constantly keeping the message. And that's down to me really. And that's probably the biggest hurdle that I've got is me. I've got my goals, I've got my sights set on what we're going to try and look at and achieve. But it's just staying relevant and staying up to date and in pace. But with that, you have to go out and find that, don't you? To be fair.
Absolutely. Cool.
Yeah.
So what have you learned along the way, Matt?
Wow. Yeah. What have I learned? I've learned how to use Instagram. That was a jolt. So gone from somebody who never used social medias at all in his life, to be fair, not to the extent I'm having to now, but yeah, I've learned, learning the online and the social media market has been a massive bolt out the blue for me. But Instagram's, it's an amazing journey actually, really, because it's not just about learning about the golf and how to teach it and how to express it and so on. It's also learning camera work and things like that, and getting correct lighting and so on and so forth. You're having to learn all these little skills that I never knew about or even thought about before. But then, YouTube and internet is a wonderful thing, isn't it? You can learn a lot of those.
Absolutely, yeah. So with the benefit of hindsight, knowing what you now know, what might you do differently if you were doing it all again?
Probably would plan better. Because I think when I just started, I basically just grabbed my phone, ran off and said, right, I'm just going to go shoot a video. And I went to the local park where I live and just thought, that's a nice shot, with a castle behind me and everything like that, and just shot a few videos and expecting them to suddenly become, trending on the internet. And suddenly you're sitting there and you think, 3 views, what's that all about, But yeah, also to be patient with myself. I've definitely learned that. So not to be expecting too much too soon. It's a slow, gradual build. And I think when anybody starts any business, you expect, if you opened a shop, for example, you'd expect people to be flooding through the doors. No, it doesn't work that way. You've got to go out and get those people. So that's the things I've learned really is to be seen and get out there more. I've learned a lot how to use technology a bit more than I ever did before, than I needed to. So they're the main sort of learns that I'm taking away from that. I think being patient with yourself is a valuable lesson as well. I think people are too hard on themselves and get themselves too pumped up to try and think, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Just take a breath. And I think the main thing that I've tried to do in this, which I wished I'd done it sooner, was to set smaller goals. So, you know, just one person coming for a lesson is a win, you know, and celebrate that win. Once I get that, then it starts to snowball. You'll start to notice things happen. So, and I can imagine that can express to any business, to be fair. You know, you get a major sale come through, you know, enjoy it. And that's the other thing as well that I probably learned as well. Whereas, you know, I got this the first lesson through and it was like, right, okay, on to the next one. No, nurture and look after the ones you've already got and then start looking as well. So yeah, that's the things that I'll probably take from it is a bit of patience as well on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Great learnings, Matt, and some great advice there as well. I'm sure people will get a lot from that. Thank you very much, Matt. I really appreciate it.
No problem. So thank you for having me on. It's great to do these sorts of things. I love it. And I love your posts as well on LinkedIn and so on. So keep them going, please.